I'm so excited to bring on stage Chris McCorkindale from Nightbreed. Hello, lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you and everyone here.
And it's lovely to see you. You weren't one of the really terrifying monsters in Nightbreed. You were actually quite a nice monster. So,
Judah Sassy had her, she was neither good nor bad. She was one of those gray area people, I think.
she was awesome though. And the scene that you will be so proud of me. I kept both eyes open when I was watching it, okay? And I was watching it, and it's the bit where you do the sassy walk, and then blah, and you just like with the pins that are in. What were they that were coming out of you? And you were it was amazing.
That was part of an 8-hour makeup job.
8 hours.
Quills, yeah. I was in the makeup room from 4 in the morning until maybe, I don't know, do the math, 10 o'clock, and then waiting to go on set.
So you must have had about 18, 20-hour days doing that.
Something like that.
Blooming heck. And it's incredible what these actors go through, isn't it, to make the performances that you guys do. And what I know about Nightbreed that I've tried to watch with like that, it's about a chap called Aaron who is haunted by the terrifying nightmares of city monsters. Here we go. So I wrote this down just in case I forgot it, you see.
Okay.
So his psychiatrist is actually a serial killer, and he's trying to frame him. The police kill Aaron, and then all of a sudden the monsters from his terrifying dreams come true. Right, that concept I've never read the book because I've been too scared, but that concept is terrifying enough. What did you think when you got the script and they said, oh, we've got this part for you?
It wasn't so much the script that affected me, it was more the scenes. I don't think I even read the entire script. I didn't get a copy of the entire script. It may be that they didn't want us to know everything, and I only read the book a couple of years ago. So I didn't really know what was going to happen until I saw the movie. I didn't have a complete picture until I saw the movie. So I was like in the same position as you guys.
Were you scared of the monsters? Or because you were one, were you okay?
Sorry?
Were you, like, when you actually saw them in full makeup, were you a bit freaked out, or was it okay?
No, the thing that freaked me out was the scene where I had to walk through a curtain, and the curtain was made of live snakes. That's what freaked me out. And they didn't warn me about the snakes, and there was a scene where I'm like standing on the bed and dancing, and there's snakes crawling all over everything, and after a while I got used to it. It was hilarious. We'd have to cut the scene, we'd have to chase the snakes, and pick up the snakes, put them in bags. It was okay.
So I should imagine that filming for this kind of film there was something always happening, like something a little bit different.
Yeah, it was very different. It was very different. Yeah.
So what's it like to have been a part of something like this? Because it got huge cult status, didn't it? Like years after it was released.
You know, I had no idea that Nightbreed had a following until it was like maybe 2013. Someone contacted me on Facebook and said, people are looking for me, and it's like I had no idea. So,
because there was the documentary that was made about it in 2014.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that what? I was in that. Yeah.
So that must be like all those years later, somebody gets in touch to do a documentary. That must be brilliant to know that there is a following out there for a film that you did like all those years ago. That must be brilliant.
It's a big surprise. It's a big surprise.
And do you know what I found out about you? That if you've seen the film, you will have seen the very sassy performance that you did when you were walking through. Now I found out that you're actually a dancer.
I was a dancer.
Now
I'm
that
not really an actress. I'm a dancer.
And
Yeah.
that explains how you were able to do that, because I thought the performance was fantastic. And I was like, oh, she's going to do something now. I could tell. It was like, a temptress, where you're doing something like, look at me, blah.
I had some very good direction. Besides Clive Barker, David Glass, who was a brilliant mime artist and physical theater performer. I was studying with David Glass, and that's actually how I got the part. He introduced me to Clive Barker. I auditioned. I'd been studying physical theater and mime with David Glass. So, and he was the one who directed all the movement. I don't know why he's not credited in the film, but it was David Glass who got, David Glass and Clive, who got me to move like that.
That's awesome. And this is moving away from horror ever so slightly. So I do apologize, but were you actually the movement model for Jessica Rabbit in Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
So I was auditioning, I don't know, for another part, and I didn't get that part, but story of my life, I got to be the stand-in for a cartoon, Jessica Rabbit. So I did they needed someone for the audience to react to, and for Bob Hoskins to react to, in that big scene where she comes out on stage and sings. So, I spent a week learning the dance routine and performing, and, it also gave, so besides giving the audience someone to react to, it gave the lighting people, showed them where the light should go, and so it made it a lot more realistic.
How awesome is that? I know my husband's going to be quite excited, the fact that I'm actually sat next to a person who is Jessica Rabbit, in effect. Like the human Jessica Rabbit. That is very cool. And, if you said that you're more of a dancer, so if you were to think of any kind of dancing part that you could bring into any kind of film, have you ever thought, that'd be amazing if I could do that?
Sure, but yeah, for me, it's more about the music. I respond to music, and I think, this would be an amazing piece of music to do some choreography to. But yeah.
I'd love to see you doing some kind of horror choreography for us. I'm a terrible dancer, but I would be willing for everybody to laugh at me, just to say that you've actually done it, because I know so many people who'd be jealous if that would actually be the case, because it's fantastic. And I think that if I could actually watch it with both... Has anybody else watched Nightbreed with one eye closed? Or is that just me? Amy has as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Amy. Give her a cheer. She watched it the same way that I did. Does it ever make you guys laugh that there are grown adults who might say that about a film that you're in?
Everyone's different. Hey, when I saw Alien, I was like this half the time. In the movie theater, watching Alien.
In the movie theater?
Yeah.
Do you know
Terrified.
the first time I ever watched Alien, I know that we're moving slightly out of genre, but it's still like horror kind of sci-fi, isn't it?
Horror sci-fi.
I was pregnant the first time that I watched it.
No.
And my little girl was the most active thing ever, and I thought she was going to come out of my stomach. It was scary. But you said outside that you love sci-fi. So what would be the ideal sci-fi kind of horror role that you could imagine up if you wanted to play it?
I'd like to play an alien, of some sort.
Cool.
Yeah.
I fancy myself as a Ripley, but I'm such a chicken. I'd just run away. All right, does anybody have any questions for Chris? We can get the microphone out if you've got anything to say. Don't be shy. There's a Chucky. There is an actual Chucky. Somebody is rubbing the head of a Chucky. That's another thing that scares me. Hi, Chucky. Any questions, anyone? Okay, so what does the future hold for you then? What, over the coming years, any exciting projects that you can let us into?
So I'm not really in the entertainment world anymore.
Is it yoga and...
I've taught yoga. I've done a lot of different things. I'm an environmentalist. I'm into permaculture. I'm I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next as far as, maybe starting an eco-village with some people, doing permaculture projects. I'm not sure, but I want to do something different.
That sounds awesome. So from being in one of the most terrifying films that I've ever watched, because the monsters still scare me at this age, to possibly starting up an eco-village. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if this isn't like one of the coolest ladies that you've ever spoken to, who has so many hidden talents, including the Jessica Rabbit, like, that's awesome. I know somebody I'm going to have to introduce you to is going to be very jealous about that. Can we get a huge cheer, ladies and gentlemen, for Chris McCorkindale?